Hello again, this is Moroni Prime with yet another video review. This next review is over an item that, though it may seem like it, is actually not part of the Transformers franchise or the original Transformers line in any way. This was released from what information I could gather, which is actually really scarce online. There's next to no information on this. That it was released by Tomy Corporation in 1985. It's part of a line known as Tribots. That's T-R-I-B-O-T-S. This must not have been a very popular line, and apparently the toys are somewhat of a rarity. So much so that the only two I can find for sale online are both on eBay. They are different than this one that I have, and are in the ballpark of around $150 each. So I'm considering myself very fortunate here. This, from what you can tell, slightly resembles the Cobra Hiss vehicle. At least that's the closest thing I can come up with that it resembles. Yeah, sorry for the weird angle. I'm trying the review from an aerial view just for something a little different. Kind of free up my hands a bit. So if this is difficult to watch, then, well, too bad. Here it is in the tank configuration. You've got the little cockpit there with the canopy. And on the other side you have, appears to be a turret on the back, which is kind of awkward. I'm not sure what the purpose of that being in the back would be, but you think you'd like to look what you were shooting at and not where you just were. So anyway, I honestly don't know which way is front on this thing, which way it's supposed to face. I would assume that way, but I really don't know. Anyhowdy, in this mode it is dominantly black and gray, with the one red canopy there and the two small gear details on the sides of the vehicle there. Has one point of articulation, which is the gun here. It points down. Not sure why. It points down. No real purpose. Kind of sad little gun. Shoot the ground. I don't know. Right, transformation. This line is special in that the figures from the line have 3 modes. They are triple changers. To convert to robot mode, so far as I can gather, you take the gun and pivot it down. Take the treads, and there are hinges at the back here. You just take and rotate them. They are ratcheting joints. Rotate them 180 degrees, and then there are double joints here. You extend the legs down and out like so. Do the same on the other side here. And the feet are at the base of the tracks. There's the front, which has the 2 toes, as seen here. And on the heel, there's this tab back here. This pulls down to complete the clawed foot. That is the same on both feet. Get a hold of it. Yeah, there we are. Next, the front of the vehicle, what I'm calling the front anyhow. Sorry for the autofocus there. The front of the vehicle, as I'm calling it, splits in half, separates. There's a couple of pegs here in the front. They're smaller pegs. I don't know how well you can see that. I'll lift it up just a bit so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. They're smaller pegs and look like they might be easily breakable. That if you are lucky enough to happen to find one and buy it, you may want to keep that in mind to look for that just in case, because like I said, they do look rather fragile. Swing those down. Here you have full 360 degree movement at that joint, as well as lateral movement at the hinge. There is also an elbow here, which that can move about 90 degrees, just like your standard elbow on most figures. Now something I like here is in the chest cavity here, there's a little double barrel cannon. There's no real switch or any sort of noticeable activation other than just grabbing it and pulling it out. But there's a little blaster on the chest. So we'll go ahead and leave that out. Also, the hands on the arms here, they have little tabs similar to like, well, like Gnaw the Sharkticon or like Grimlock the Nanobot. They just slide out. The fists and the gun here are all vac metal chrome. It's like the old school style chrome, so that's going to be something that'll be easily worn away. And then you take the cockpit here, the canopy, and just pivot it down 90 degrees to form the head, such as it is. Now, one thing I do notice right off the bat, it suffers from, as a buddy of mine, Sean, likes to call it ATHP. For those of you in the know, start snickering childishly. For those of you who don't, please use Google. It's a useful tool. Now, there's a third mode, and it actually took me a little bit. I had to do some research to look it up. This section, this back section, which would be like the spinal column, the upper and lower back, actually pulls out. I'll put it on a side angle here so you can see the arm out of the way. This whole section just comes out on a hinge like so. There's two hinges here. And I thought it was supposed to be like some sort of like snake looking mode or something. But apparently I was way off, because once I had looked up the information, it would seem it's more like a llama or some sort of like midget giraffe thing. But what you'll do is once you have the neck up like that, you'll then take the arms and fold them forward like so. Take the fists and depress those back in. The cannon, I would assume, goes back in unless he's meant to have udders, which I but certainly hope not. And then the legs here, as best as I can guess, there we go. And not only pivot, or I'm sorry, bend at the hinge, they'll also click up one notch. Yeah, something like that. Do that with both legs. And that would put your feet roughly even with the arms here, which then creates your llama. This was in a few of the different pictures that I found through sites like Super Toy Archive and that sort of thing. Like I said, use Google, use Yahoo, whatever you need. There's next to no information on this line that I've been able to find. It's a really sturdy figure. The plastic is in great condition, and you can tell it's legitimate product, because on the back here, under that area where the neck was, well, you can make it out. Try to get it in this good light here. I'm failing miserably. There we go. Tomy, Japan, right there. Information I was able to find, like I said, it showed it being released sometime around 1985. The plastic is, I would say, the same quality as that would be expected of a Generation 1 Transformer. The articulation actually is quite a bit beyond that of your average Generation 1 figure. I mean, you have the hip rotation, you have knees, you have ankle movement, you have the shoulders and elbows, plus the head, that you can take and move up and down. I mean, it's a very, very articulate figure for 1985. I could see a slight homage, however you want to pronounce it, to maybe an Omega Supreme or a Mechabot 1 type of robot, or maybe even something from Robotech or Macross, that sort of thing. It looks as though it was meant to be piloted in some capacity, even though it does not appear that the cockpit is meant to open. So I don't know if there was like an accompanying storyline or a comic or anything to go along with this. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's a really good figure, very solid, very sturdy. It doesn't utilize die-cast metal as one would expect from that era. More than just maybe like the screws and pins and rivets and that sort of thing. So you don't have to worry about any major rust damage or anything. As I said before though, watch out for like chrome wear and things. And also look out for small tabs. Now, one thing I do want to point out is every so often here, on like the arms, there's one there, as well as on the sides here, plus a couple of holes. I don't know if the Tribot line utilized any sorts of guns or accessories of any kind, but if they did, I don't have them. I have no knowledge of them, what to even begin to look for. So far as I know, I believe this to be complete. It looks complete. It's a solid figure. It's displayable. Actually, until I got an Omega Supreme, I was actually kind of using it as a fill-in, like an Omega Minor. I highly recommend this figure if you can find it or ones like it. Some of the other information I got was the black and gray models. That there's like 2 or 3 different molds in this line. The black and gray are supposed to be the bad guys. I don't know if they have a faction name or what. And the red, white, and blue, which is kind of reminiscent of the old Super Alternators, if you remember those, are supposed to be the good guys. So, as far as I can gather, there must be a red, white, and blue version of this floating around someplace too. Again, it's the Tribot from Tomy. I would rate it probably, honestly, for its era and the overall construct and engineering involved, all the articulation and joints, an 11 out of 10. It's just a fantastic figure. It's leaps and bounds above, you know, Smokescreen or, you know, Top Spin and Twin Twist and the sort that we got in that same year from Hasbro. I'm very impressed, and yeah, 11 out of 10. It's a great figure. If you find it, buy it. Take out a second mortgage on your house if you have to. Get this figure, or one of the others from the line. Highly recommended. Once again, this has been Moroni Prime, wasting your time.